Welcome back to the Elba, Italy Build-Off. Last time, we laid the bones of the city with our road network, and today we're finally giving it some life. We'll be filling in our development space, placing some low residential, commercial, and if I can find the right fit, some office. Also, I forgot power and water last episode, so we'll be getting that in too. We've got a lot of ground to cover, so let's just jump right into it. And to start off, let me quickly break down my zoning choices and why. The real-life island of Elba is known for small, charming towns and villages within a traditional, intimate feeling almost. It has really good coastal views, it has a bunch of lush vegetation, natural landscapes, and really these thrive best with low-density zoning. It preserves the scenery and the open spaces rather than obscuring them with dense development. Tourism in Elba, in my personal opinion, relies heavily on these quaint villages because it has that welcoming atmosphere and it doesn't feel like a metropolitan area. But the biggest reason of all to me for why we're going with low density residential is their limited resources, especially water and power. If you have fewer residents per area, that means less stress on essential infrastructure. So with that in mind, we will be primarily focusing on low density residential and commercial for the entirety of our build, but we will sprinkle in some medium density from time to time. It has to be small, it has to have a really specific feel, like this Mediterranean housing right here. But really, we're just going to kind of start zoning some low density single family homes. I haven't decided on the assets we'll use yet, so I'll probably sprinkle in UK, maybe, I don't know, maybe, I think I'll try UK first and see how that looks. It doesn't really matter because once we do find the right assets, we'll bulldoze it all and really get this looking a very specific way. So let's get into it. Let's do all our zoning. And this right here should allow us to get to level 2 pretty easily, which means we'll unlock our medium density housing for a Mediterranean. I'm going to click play, let it play out for a bit, and we'll see what we get. And I don't know how I forgot. I totally forgot about water, power, and sewage. I completely blanked on that one. Okay, so for power and water, that's a tough one. Because we're on an island, the ability to export or import would be fairly expensive. I'm pretty sure the real Elba recently put in a underwater power transmission cable type thing, and the goal was to import some more power. I think that cost like $40 million, and we don't got $40 million right now. I think the easiest thing to start thinking about is our water. We will put in our water pumping station. I feel like that's just the best choice. We could put in a water tower at the top of one of the hills, because that's typically where you want a water tower to be. But honestly, I think pumping the water just makes the most sense. And it also makes the least sense at the same time, because this would be salt water, which means the salt water would have to be desalinated or something like that. I'm not 100% familiar with the processes, but I do know of it just a bit. And that's why a water tower would actually make sense. But then the cost of importing water would be so expensive. I'm going to lean towards the water pump, and I'm going to say that we are doing the desalination process or whatever it's called. And then in terms of location, I think I'm just going to place it right here. It's a fairly decent area. We can pump the water without disturbing our residents. Sewage is the one I'm scared for the most. Now we just have to add on our water lines underneath the highway. And for power, short term, we're just going to add in a turbine. It just makes the most sense for what we have. There's no way we're importing coal at this level. We just don't have the money for it. And honestly, we go bankrupt within the next, 5-10 minutes if we added a coal power plant. So we'll place it along one of these hills and then we'll run some roads up to it. All right, looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. My main goal was just to respect the topography by going up the terrain gently and try not to make too crazy of grade decisions. I think our highest at one point was 11%. Not really too bad given the fact of what this road is. The vehicles going up here are most likely going to handle this no problem. Now we need to add in some power lines to actually serve our community. And there's two ways I could think about this. So one, we could just run them underneath the road like we did with the water. Two, we could send an above ground connection all the way across this hill into the community. And that's really just for redundancy at this point in time. we wouldn't want one connection to go out and then everyone be without power. So I think I'll probably do both. All right, now this one's going to hurt the most. We have to put in a sewage outlet. We can't afford a wastewater treatment plant, and even if we could, we don't have it unlocked. So our only option is to add in a sewage outlet. It's going to suck because we're going to pollute the water for a bit, but the second we can unlock a wastewater treatment plant, we will. And even when I'm looking at this, I think we probably should have added the advanced water or groundwater pumping station, and we should have used that for water, but you live and you learn. Let's add in our sewage outlet and hope it doesn't pollute the water too much. Okay, I've taken a pretty good look around the map, and this area seems to be the best due to the way that the water is flowing. It's not optimal, but it is the best for what we have. So we'll probably place it along this hill and allow the sewage water to flow down the hill. And man, that hurts saying out loud, but that's what we're gonna do. Now we could just use the sewage pipe to connect it up, but I'm just gonna use a dirt road. It feels more realistic. How else are people getting down here to service this or whatever it may be? Now I want to be absolutely certain that this is going to flow down, so let's do a tiny bit of grading. All right, and with that, we should be able to click play. All right, well, I was letting things fill out. We hit milestone 1, so that gives us 25,000, 1 development point, and 3 expansion permits. None of these are really important at this moment. We're just really waiting to fill the city out, but we do get the church in, and that's nice. I can definitely see a few places where we could put this down already. And honestly, while we're waiting for everything to fill in, we might as well just get a few of these signature buildings in here anyways. So we pretty much have nothing except for, oh, we have our pub. We definitely place this along here. We have our church inn, and I think we'll definitely place these two right along this road somewhere in this vicinity. So at Elba, when I looked at the map, I seen a lot of orange, very strong orange roofs, and I'm trying to repaint these houses to see if I can get that feeling. If I can't, I'm not going to use these assets. In fact, I'm thinking all these will be gone. I'm also noticing they're waiting for a hearse, and we don't have any death care in. We could place a cemetery, or we could place a France crematorium. In terms of upkeep, the cemetery is slightly more expensive, and in terms of space, the cemetery takes up a lot more space. So I think we'll go with the France crematorium, and we're going to spend our 1 development point on the crematorium. So we'll go into healthcare and death care, click crematorium, unlock it, and we are ready to go. Honestly, I'm thinking of placing it right here. It's a bit polarizing due to the fact that it's right near a waterfront, but it has such good access to all these other roads, and it's very central in terms of all of our development. So although it's polarizing, I'm probably just going to place it right here. Placing that, let us hit milestone 2, which is amazing. The only thing I really care about at this stage is the money. We don't really need anything just yet. We do get a new signature building, which is awesome. And we get our Mediterranean medium density housing, which we can start playing with to see if it'll fit our build. All right, 2 things. I want to dezone all of this. It'll stay because I have plopped the growables, but I don't want anything else to fill in. I really don't like the way it looks. Second thing, I'm going to add a water purification thing onto this sewage outlet, hoping that it'll reduce some of the pollution to the water. All right, I haven't seen the Mediterranean housing pack before this, but honestly, I'm a bit underwhelmed. The assets themselves are beautiful. It's just the variation in number of assets that I'm not exactly whelmed about. I'm going to play around with this, try and get something that I can like. And this is what I came up with after 10 minutes. I don't like it. It feels way too dense for what I want the city to be. So I'm going to bulldoze it. But first, I want to find an asset that we can place all around here, at least a few of them. I don't really care for the UK housing, and I don't really care for the Southwestern row homes in this build specifically. They just don't fit. So maybe with a little bit of searching and looking, we can find something that has a really good feeling to it. And I feel absolutely ridiculous. Why did I not use the vanilla European assets? They fit in perfectly with this build. I don't know. I've rarely used them. There's a few that I used to really like when we didn't have any region packs. So outside of from that, I've never used them. The last time I did a European build in general was about 5 years ago, and that was in Cities Skylines 1. And I had a bunch of custom packs for that, and we had custom zoning. So it all worked out really well. But now with these European assets, I can see the vision now. I can see how all of this looks, and I want to get started. So let's delete all these buildings and let's make a massive improvement. In Elba, I noticed that they have very bright white siding, and they also have orange roofs. So I'll try and maximize the color scheme as much as possible. I find that while plopping, you don't realize how much time it takes until you're over and you look at the clock. It's been 50 minutes for me, 50 minutes. I notice we have some sick people. I want to take care of that immediately so it doesn't get worse. We don't really have too many options, really. Everything's expensive, so we're gonna go with a small medical clinic, and I think I have the perfect place for it. Right about here, I think. It has very good access to all of our key roads, so it has access to our arterials, our two main connectors, and it should really serve the area pretty well. Now I want to place another signature building, hoping to get some more demand or some tourism or at least something, some boost to our economy. And I'm thinking I will just connect this one right here. It can work pretty well since they're essentially the same building, just slightly different. Now I want to detail just a little bit. I don't want to get too heavy into detailing for pretty much any of these starting episodes, because really we just need to get in the green. We need to have our core foundation of pretty much everything we want laid down, and then we can get into nitty gritty, because really this competition ends on June 9th, so we have to be careful. But I still want to do just a tiny bit, otherwise, I don't know, I won't like the way it looks and it'll just never sit right with me. And we've unlocked milestone 3, not too bad. We get the Riverside Grill, pretty good. And we also unlock firehouses and police stations, which means we need to put them in really soon. Otherwise, our citizens will start complaining about it and our demand will go down. Now, before I forget, I want to place in the Riverside Grill. The more I look at this asset, the more I feel like it doesn't fit with what we're going for. I do know there is some coming up soon that will unlock that fit really well, but I'm looking at this and I don't really see it. I'm thinking we could probably just place it right here, because on our beachfront, we'll either have a beach or a passenger harbor. And we don't have it unlocked yet, but we can still look at it with Find It. And you can tell that this takes up a lot of space. So we want to make sure that we're reserving that space appropriately. Now, my heart tells me beach, but my brain tells me passenger harbor. So I think we'll probably just go with the passenger harbor. I think that's going to be the biggest key to success, especially for our little small town that's trying to become a tourist destination. Oh, nice. We unlocked the Extreme Athletes Villa. Okay, we can definitely place this in. I have never unlocked this ever, so I've never actually used this asset. I'll finish up here and we'll go swap over to that. I've been thinking about it, and I think there's only really one good solid location, and that's right here. It would be private enough to give the extreme sports athlete some space. They'd also have some fairly valuable property. They'd have a lot of land, which would be pretty expensive out here. And I mean, they'd have access to a farms and dirt road. It's not exactly the greatest method of connection, but in regards to privacy, they have it. All right, overall, it's a pretty good looking asset. I think we can just make some minor adjustments, make it a little bit more dirty. And I wonder what the underground looks like. Wow, that's actually really cool. I've never seen this asset yet. I love the underground. That's such a cool addition. And I guess if you wanted to, you could jump off the skateboard rail into the pool, although you'd probably wreck your board. But I guess it doesn't matter if you're a rich extreme athlete. Step 1, let's make the road darker. Step 2, let's get rid of this super nice clean house look and make it slightly more dirty. Step 3, let's put some cracks on the road and let's also make it dirty as well. I can't remember what step we're on, so let's just say step 7. Put some cool tire marks right in front of this guy's garage because he's an extreme athlete and he drives fast. Step 9, get bored of all these steps and just do a time lapse instead. All right, now I want to add in a few developments by our farms. These would mostly just be low residential, places where people who probably own these farms either live or work or operate from. Probably just going to use the European assets again. I mean, they seem to work the best for this build. I noticed that the crime rate was reducing our demand pretty significantly. So we're going to add in this DE police station. If it's okay, better than most of the other police stations. And with that, we actually get milestone 4 and we get espresso on the go. And we're definitely placing this in. It's going to fit into this build so perfectly. Just wait until you see. So we'll grab espresso on the go. Where is it? Here we go. The perfect asset for our small island city. I don't know about you, but I think we all need a car-centric Starbucks essentially in our lives. No, but in all seriousness, I do think we could put this gas station here. And our farm area is looking pretty good. I'm happy with it so far. I think we just need to finish off our zoning. Okay, coming along slowly but surely. It's looking good though, and we have a fire. Oh no, we don't have a fire station. I don't even know which asset to choose. It's between the northeast one, because it's nice and small, could fit in. Between the France one, because I think that one looks the best out of all of them for this build. Um, China, France, China, France. I'd like to place this one, but I don't want to interrupt our road network right now. And you know what? Right beside the police station, it makes sense. Let's just add it in. This one's super small. We only get one fire truck, so hopefully we don't have too many fires, but it should do the trick until we grow and actually have some decent money coming in. Right now we're negative 4,600 and it's rough. I can just see the downward trend already, so we got to grow rapidly, exponentially. Okay, for the most part, I'm done with our low density residential. I want to transition into some sort of resort, some kind of hotel, but I want to be very careful with the assets that I choose here because I want them to feel the same as the rest of the low density. Like, take this asset, for example. We could place this and we could change its roof. Yeah, we could change this one's roof too. So we can make it orange, we can make the building white, and we can make a proper resort complex. The resort itself, again, we want it to be, I don't know, welcoming and simple. This isn't somewhere you're going to a water park. This is somewhere you're going to enjoy the culture, walk around, grab their food, maybe go to the beach, but you're not coming here to party. You're not coming here to go to, I don't know, a massive water park. I even just like these assets in terms of like a residential house. I feel like they could fit in if they didn't obviously look like a motel. If we removed all the other assets, they could probably be some sort of medium density residential. I wish I could change these to be residential, but I can't. So we'll stick with kind of the resort idea, but I might add more assets like these around the map. Okay, now I want to build out some sort of custom pathway or trail. I also want to do the same for a bunch of the other special lots. These lots are a bit more important because they're so close to our waterfront. I want them to be very welcoming, or at least very engaging. If you walk past here, you want to know what's going on. You want to walk through our parks, and to me, that's the dream. Now, I'm going to speed up a lot of these smaller granular detailing for two reasons. One, I want there to be some surprises. Two, it's 9 hours worth of footage that I recorded, and that's a lot of time. And it'd be very difficult to speed up and show you guys every single thing. So because of that, I'm going to do a little bit of skipping, speeding, and decisions that you might not be able to see, but I am making them, but you won't be able to see them. It's funny because when you look at this, it doesn't seem like I did all that much, but yet it still took so much time, so much thought, effort, care went into this little area, and yet it looks like I pretty much did nothing. Okay, now we need some names, and honestly, I want to leave this up to the community. If you guys have names, please let me know. I'm happy to fill them in. You can see the names right now. Pick a district, pick a name, and I'll change it. Otherwise, I'll try and do some research on my own and maybe I can come up with some decent names. Now for blocks like this, I am just going to reduce their size. Right now, these are massive. There's no need for these to be so big. We can easily take these down, add in more development, and therefore more tax revenue for us so we don't go bankrupt. And I love it so much. This feels worth the time that I spent doing it. It does feel completely different from anything else that I've even built in Cities Skylines 2, just because it's so distinct in the way I designed it, but I love it. Moving on, I think we might tackle our resorts next, or maybe we might add some more commercial. We are struggling with jobs, so we definitely need some more jobs, but all the assets just don't fit. I think in the meantime, honestly, I'm just going to fill this entire area in with more residential. I was reserving it for maybe commercial or office, but after looking through office and commercial assets, it's very limited on what I want to use. And just having this filled in already makes this area look so much better than it did before. It just felt so empty and bare. If we need to, we can redevelop. But for now, I am happy with some form of development there rather than just blank roads. Now I just want to remove all of the fences on these assets. They're conflicting with each other. Honestly, later on, I'll come back and I'll redo all of these anyways. Now I want to focus on some sort of plaza for these commercial properties. All right, we are finally ready to move on to our resort hotel type area, and that's these buildings right here. Really, I want to add a path in between them. I want to do a tiny bit of detailing in terms of places to sit. Maybe a pocket park, we'll see. Okay, and now I really want to finish up all of our empty plots. We have this big one right here, so we're going to split it up. And I've been taking a look at these Chinese assets, and I actually think they're going to fit perfectly as long as we can change the color of the roof. They have that single family residential feel, but then you have small ones like this, You have big ones that are higher levels, and they really work. So I'm just gonna place a few and see how it comes out. Okay, not bad, not bad. I don't think they all deserve to be on this specific block though. I think these need to be broken up just a bit to kind of remove that same repetitive feeling that I'm getting. But they can clearly work, and that is exciting because that means I can vary up some of the assets I've been using. Right here, this looks so much better than the giant block of symmetrical buildings. Now, there is a problem that I'm seeing is that none of these buildings have residents, and that's because we have unoccupied buildings and negative on availability of jobs, which makes sense. Most of the people who live here are unemployed, but there's not like too much we can do about that just yet. I mean, maybe we could add an office, but I don't know what office we'd go with. And commercial will only fill up so much employment. I'm wondering, what are our numbers right now? So let's go into population, and we're at 56.8% unemployment. That's rough, but we have no homeless people. So clearly, we take care of our citizens. Taking a look at the France pack, I'm trying to find something. I really don't want there to be blue roofs, and I know the France pack does have some orange roofs, but it needs to be a certain size too. The thing that worries me is I'm going to place 4 massive buildings, and they're just going to look so out of place compared to the rest of the city. This probably would be the area to do it just in terms of density, and we could add these ones. So I decided to go with these ones, but they have very weird surfaces and they don't really seem to snap very well. So I had to do a bunch of detailing just on the sides of these buildings to get them to feel more integrated. I'm looking at it, and it definitely is the tallest buildings in the entire city. It does feel slightly out of place, but maybe, I'm hoping, as we grow the city, this will feel more integrated. If not, I will bulldoze it and I will try again. Overall though, I'm really glad I branched out and tried the France pack and tried the Chinese pack. Okay, I was finishing up our last couple areas and we unlocked milestone 5. Pretty solid. We're now a tiny town, and really the money is the only thing I care about right now, just because I don't want to go bankrupt. But we also get the steakhouse. Probably won't ever replace that. It's very North American feeling. We get post office and a bunch of other things we probably just won't use. Right now I'm working on this plot right here, trying to get this as well to feel natural and blend in. All right, and this is what we got so far. Every single building has been manually plopped. A bunch of the plazas have been super detailed. I put a lot of love and care into each of them. And I think we have one plot left that we could use for Mediterranean housing. And I think it'll work pretty well given that's where our densest area is. So let's jump into that. And after a bunch of indecisiveness and assets that just don't seem like they fit right, I've decided on this. We'll paint all of them the same color because, I mean, why wouldn't they be the same color? It's one big development. And then we'll probably just add some low residential European houses beside it. We'll add another road so we can improve the density. And this is it. I think it's looking pretty solid. All it's missing is trees, because without the trees it feels a bit naked. But I think this is really good. For what I was scared of when we first started, I think that's mostly gone now. There was that fear of, oh my god, are we gonna have the right assets? Are we gonna be able to make this work? Is this gonna look good at the end of it? And you know what? I think it looks pretty solid. I'm happy with it for the most part. There's gonna be a lot of stuff I'm gonna revisit later on in the future when we come back. But for right now, just getting the ball rolling and working our way to a stable budget. That way we can make sure we're progressing through the contest. I think it's pretty solid. Now let's add some trees. All right, much, much, much better. I think we may have spent too much money on trees though, and we're going a bit broke. Let's do a quick before and after. And that is a wrap. I hope you guys enjoyed because I know I did. It was a lot of fun building this out. And if you enjoyed, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment. Really helps with the algorithm. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one.